Yo, what's up guys, Tanmaya for Simple Snippets back with another video tutorial on Java programming. So today's topic is going to be on abstract classes and abstract methods in Java. So what we'll do is we'll first go through a little bit of theory on what are abstract classes and what are abstract methods in Java and why do we need them. We'll see an example and then what we'll do is we'll jump to the practical aspect, that is we'll go to the NetBeans IDE and we'll perform the coding. So make sure you watch this video till the end so that you get both theoretical as well as practical knowledge. And with that being said, let's start off with today's topic. So quickly open up our website, that is our official website, which is simplesnippets.tech. Under the courses section, you can go to the core Java part and you'll see a list of tutorials. So we already have a lot of tutorials in this playlist of Java programming. So if you're new on this channel, you can check out the playlist. I'll drop the link of the playlist in the video description and you can also see a card on the top right corner. So yeah, for the theory, we usually refer our official website because this gives you access to all the articles. So if you're preparing for your answers, you can also read the theory as well as see the program examples. So instead of the presentation which I used to do earlier, this method is easy because then I can share all the details and all the theoretical as well as program examples with you also via the website. So yeah, let's start off. I'll drop the link of this article which is there in this browser. You can see I'll drop this link in the video description also so that you can directly go to this article. So let's start off with a little bit of theory on abstract classes and abstract methods. Now this is a very important topic. And I hope you already have a good knowledge of what is inheritance in Java and what are classes and objects. We've all talked about this in this playlist. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So talking about abstract classes and abstract methods in Java. So a class that is declared with an abstract keyword is known as an abstract class in Java. So if you're coming from a C++ background, we did not have to explicitly declare a class as abstract. Okay, so in C++, if the method is abstract, by default the class becomes abstract. But here you can specify it explicitly because you have that flexibility whether your class is abstract or not. So if it has an abstract method, of course it has to be abstract. But if your class does not have any abstract method, even then you can make that class abstract so that it does not get instantiated. So we'll talk about this in detail as we move ahead. So starting off, as I mentioned, a class that is declared with abstract keyword is known as abstract class. It can have abstract and non-abstract methods. We'll talk about abstract methods in a minute. And it needs to be extended and its methods implemented. So it cannot be instantiated. So if you make a class abstract, you cannot create an object directly. Okay? Because of course it will be incomplete, right? Because that would have an abstract method might be. Or that abstract class or abstract keyword itself makes the class incomplete. Okay? So you cannot directly create an object. So moving on to what are abstract methods. So a method that is declared as abstract and does not have implementation is known as abstract method. So again, you have to explicitly say that it is an abstract method and it does not have implementation, which means that it does not have a body. So you can see in the comment, no body and abstract. So this is how you make an abstract method. So we'll see that in the program part also. Now let's understand the real use of abstract classes and abstract methods, and let's see a scenario where exactly an abstract class comes into picture and where we can get help from it. Okay, so let's take a visual example and visual representation to understand where exactly the abstract class and abstract methods would come into picture. So we have a parent class named shape. So this is a super class. And then we have three different child classes or subclasses, that is class rectangle, triangle and circle. So our parent class is named shape. So idea here is all these three subclasses are going to inherit from class shape. So this int area method is also going to be inherited, right? But now understand that this is a shape parent class. So we don't know the actual shape of this class, right? So that's why we've named it a generic name of shape. Now we know that this class rectangle has a proper formula for calculating its area. So we know area of rectangle is always calculated by length into breadth. Similarly, for triangle, we know it's half base into height, that is half length into breadth. We know for circle it is pi r square, so 3.14 into radius. But we don't know what exactly area of this parent class is because the shape is not yet defined, right? This is a parent class which will just have this method. So now understand that this int area method will not have a proper body, right? Because in the body we are going to perform that calculation of area, right? But since we don't know what the shape is, how are we supposed to make the body? So this is where that abstract method comes into picture. So what we do is we make this method as abstract. So you can see abstract keyword being used. And we say that now this parent class shape is become an abstract class because it has an abstract method. And the reason why it is an abstract method is because we don't know what the implementation is. So the implementation is going to be done by the subclasses. which are going to inherit from this. So all these three classes will get this int area method via inheritance. So that's how inheritance works, right? You can see extends keyword. So now individually this rectangle class can have its own implementation. So there will be an int area method. In that we will calculate area is equal to length into breadth. That is, we'll take two variables and then perform that calculation. Similarly for triangle we'll have the same int area method. So basically we are going to override that and then perform the area calculation for triangle and so on for the circle. So this is where that abstract method comes into picture. So essentially we use abstract methods when we don't know the implementation, and the implementation is going to depend on what exactly the object is in the subclasses. Okay, that's when usually abstract classes and abstract methods are being used. So I hope you understand this scenario now. So this is just that explanation. You can pause this video to read this entire explanation. And then there are certain important points about abstract classes and abstract methods. So in Java, an instance of abstract class cannot be created, right? But we can have references of abstract class type though. Now we know that objects are basically reference type. They are not actually value type. So I still have to make a dedicated video on pass by value and pass by reference in Java and what are reference types. I'll make that in a while. So probably the next video or maybe a couple of videos down the line in this playlist, I'll make that dedicated video. But right now just understand that objects are usually reference types. So what we can do is we cannot create an object directly of a class which is abstract. So you can see over here we have a base class which is abstract. So in the main function we cannot say base b is equal to new base, but we can say base b is equal to new derived. So you can see that derived extends base, and this derived is not an abstract class because this abstract method void fun is being overridden over here and the implementation is over here. So this is a complete class which is not abstract. So now I can use the base class to reference the derived class, but I cannot say base b is equal to new base because this is an abstract class. Okay, so this is what I have done in comments. What you can do is you can copy paste this code in your main function and you will see that if you uncomment these three lines, you'll get an error at this line. Okay, coming to point number 2, an abstract class can contain constructors in Java, and a constructor of abstract class is called when an instance of inherited class is created. So you can have constructor in the abstract class, but it will be called only when the child class object is created, because obviously you cannot create an object of the base class which is abstract, right? So that same example is given over here. Moving on to the next point, we have in Java we can have abstract class without any abstract method. This allows us to create class that cannot be instantiated. So this is what I was talking about very early when we started off with the theory. So you can see that I have made this class abstract, but there is no abstract method in it. So essentially it is not needed, but the reason why I've made it abstract is now I have to explicitly inherit it and I cannot create an object of base class. So if you don't want an object of a base class or any class to be created, you can make it abstract. Point number 4 is abstract classes can also have final methods. So final methods, cannot be overridden, right? So we've extensively covered what a final keyword is and where exactly it is used in this playlist. So you can go check it out. I'll drop the link and you can probably also see a link in the top right corner. And some more important rules about abstract classes and methods. So if there is an abstract method in a class, the class must be abstract. So vice versa is not possible, but that is, you can make a class abstract and not have any abstract methods. But if you have any abstract method in a class, that class has to be abstract. Okay, so if you are extending any abstract class that have abstract methods, you must either provide the implementation of the method in the subclass or make that subclass as abstract also. Okay, so if there is a child class which is inheriting from an abstract class which has an abstract method, that abstract method which will come in the child class as inheritance should have an implementation in the child class. Otherwise that child class also has to be declared as abstract. Okay, so I hope this theory is clear to you. You can go read it out properly again so that it gets more clear, because this is an important topic and sometimes students find it tricky, especially at the beginners level. But I'm pretty sure after reading this article a couple of times and trying out the examples, I'm sure you'll be very clear with the entire abstract class concept. So let's jump to the programming part and try to program the example which we just saw, this one, that is the shape example. So quickly open up your NetBeans IDE. I have already opened up mine and I'll start with the coding, and I highly recommend that you type along with me. So first we'll create a class shape. Okay, we're going to make this shape abstract. Okay, so in that I'm going to say abstract int area. Now since I added the abstract keyword, you can see I am again given an error. You can see the error as abstract methods cannot have a body. So this is what the error was. So I'll just erase this and I'll just hit a semicolon. Now again I'm still getting one more error, that is shape is not abstract and does not override abstract method area. So which means I have to make this class also abstract. So I'll say abstract class shape. Okay. And this is going to be our super class. So that's it for the super class. We'll create one subclass. We'll say class rectangle, and I'm going to perform inheritance. I'm going to say extends shape. Okay. So now I'm extending shape. So this is the super class and this is the subclass. And since I'm extending, you can see I'm immediately getting an error. And the error is rectangle is not abstract and does not override abstract method area. Which means either I have to make this class an abstract. So if I make abstract class rectangle, the error will go, or I have to implement this method int area which I am inheriting from shape in rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say int area. Here I'm going to override it. You can see I have to add annotation. So I'll say added override. It's still giving me an error because I have to still return something. So before returning, what I'll do is I'll say system.out.println enter length and breadth of rectangle to calculate area. Okay. What I'll do is I'll declare two variables. I'll say int l comma b and I'll say buffered reader. So I'm creating a buffered reader object. So I hope you know what buffered reader object does. This is used to take input from the screen. So we've talked about buffered reader and scanner variable also in detail in this playlist, so you can check it out. So I'll say buffered reader obj is equal to new buffered reader. Inside this I'll say new input stream reader. In that I'll say system.in. Okay. Now I'm gonna say L is equal to obj.br. I'm gonna say obj.readline. And here I'm going to convert it to integer. So I'm going to say integer dot parse int. And inside of that I'm going to say obj.readline. So I hope you understand what we're doing over here. So you just have to surround this in try catch block because sometimes it might throw some exception. So we still have to talk about exception and we'll talk about that in further videos. Just copy this and again paste it, and this will be for B as well. So yeah, here we're taking input output, and lastly what we'll do is we are just going to return L star B. Okay, that's it. And it's saying variable might not have been initialized. So what we can do is we can say L equals to 0, B equals to 0. So now all the errors are gone and we've overridden the area. So what it does is it asks the user to enter two numbers, that is length and breadth of the rectangle, and then we calculate the area of the rectangle by the formula length into breadth. So yeah, let's try first for rectangle and then you can create the other two classes also. Right now I'm just gonna go with rectangle because it will just take up our time. So in the main method we'll create an object of rectangle. So I'm gonna say rectangle obj1 is equal to new rectangle, and then I'm gonna say obj1 dot area. Okay, I just had made a spelling mistake over here, so that's why it was giving me an error. Okay, so we're good to go now. You can see I've created a rectangle object obj1 and I'm saying obj1 dot area. Let's save this and let's try to run this. So there you go, you can see enter length and breadth of rectangle to calculate area. I'm gonna say 5, enter 2. Okay, I just forgot to print the area, so what I'll do is I'll say system.out.println area of rectangle is colon, and just going to cut this and append it over here. So I'll just save this and run this now. It's asking for length. I'm going to say 4, okay, 5, and then I'll enter 2, and there you go, area of rectangle is 10. So we directly printed it because this area method is going to return an integer value, so that integer value is directly appended with this sentence. So area of rectangle is 10 because we entered the value of 5 and 2. 5 into 2 is 10. So I hope you understood how to use the abstract keyword and abstract method and abstract class, and I hope you understand where exactly to use the abstract methods and abstract classes. So this was a small example you can try out with other classes, and you can see the examples that are there in the article. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know how this video was. If you understood this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments so that I know that you have understood this. If you have any queries, you can put them in the comment section. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, guys, make sure you subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video tutorial, and for that you can turn on the notifications as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you guys in the next video tutorial. Peace.